and welcome to the show, Al Islam and Community Issues Group. My name is Naeem Sharif, and our co-host is the Imam Benjamin Shabazz of the Al Islam Center. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Imam Benjamin.
Wa alaikum assalam, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing outstanding.
All right.
Today is part 2 of our show on Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time. Brother Imam Benjamin, if you would open up us in prayer, perhaps maybe this time in English.
All right, we'll do it in English. The Al-Fatiha, the 7 most often repeated verses in the world. I seek refuge with Allah from the rejected enemy, Satan the devil. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All the praises belong to Allah, Lord of all systems of knowledge, the most gracious, the most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee alone do we worship. Thee alone do we ask for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those that you are pleased with, those who have not earned your anger and will go not astray. Ameen.
Ameen. All righty. That was a great drink of water. Yes, sir. So this is part 2 of our series on Muhammad Ali. We could probably do many more, but let's start off. Did you want to start off with some pictures or some comments?
Well, we'll start off with a picture. I'll just make a brief comment before we start off. We're
Okay.
talking about Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time.
Of all
The
time.
greatest of all time. The man who shook up the boxing world, the man who shook up the international world. That I was even told that Muhammad Ali was the only human being on earth that could travel throughout the world without a passport.
Okay.
So we'll start with the first picture right here. Is a picture of him resting on the ropes during one of his sparring sessions. And there's a caption underneath it. Yeah, oh, that's nice, that's nice. Can we get that caption underneath it? Then Naeem, you could probably read it.
Okay, probably I might have to zoom in on it and take a moment or so.
Well, we'll just let you read it.
Okay, it says, Muhammad Ali, hating people because of their color is wrong. And it doesn't matter which color does the hating, it's just plain wrong.
Yeah,
So that there you go. That says it all.
yeah, and that also shows the development and evolution of him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from there it is, that's beautiful. Coming from a foundation of responding to prejudice and hatred in America as an African American. You know, he was able to grow in his progress in Islam to arrive at a point where understanding that hating is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Exactly.
So now this next picture,
Now this picture here, there's a story behind this picture. This picture is done in pencil by a self-taught artist. So me and my family, we were down in Louisville, Kentucky. We were down there, my grandson was getting married down there to his fiance, and they have family in Louisville. And they gave me this picture that this artist drew. And I mean, the detail, and it looks like, I said, like it's done in pencil, but the detail, man, this artist here is something else. So they just gave it to me. The people there in Louisville, the family there, was very, very, very nice. So just a quick story. You know, we went down there for the wedding, and we arrived there on a Thursday, and you know, you get checked into your hotel and everything, and you're going to meet the new people of the new family on Saturday at the wedding. But you know, you meet somebody first time you meet them at the wedding and so forth, and it's like, oh, you know, you're kind of at ease. You know, uneasy because you don't know them yet, and they don't know you. But they were very smart. They welcomed us to the house that Thursday evening for dinner, and we must have talked for about 3 or 4 hours. And the family, you know, they were just as warm as they wanted to be. And anyway, I put in a request if somebody could get us tickets for Muhammad Ali's memorial. So one of the uncles of the bride got in line for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and got us some tickets for the memorial. So we were able to see a memorial of Muhammad Ali, which was just something you just won't forget. I mean, it was just You know, they had President Bill Clinton, he spoke, Billy Crystal, Bryant spoke. I mean, Malcolm X's daughter spoke. Just all kind of stories. One quick story that this one gentleman told, and it was these two guys were boxing, and I don't know if it was for the Olympics or just they were having a boxing match. I forget, but the boxer who won, you know, everybody was cheering for him after he won and everything, and everything. And so what Muhammad Ali did, he went to the boxer who lost and said, hey, man, show me what you got. You know, boom, boom, show me what you got. So he showed him what you got, you know, everything. And, you know, usually you would go to the boxer who won, but he went to the boxer who lost. And that just really helped that young man a lot. Can you imagine Muhammad Ali coming to you in your locker room there and talking to you after you lost? He didn't have to do that because everybody else would go to the winner. That's just the kind of person he was. And like we talked about earlier, everybody who's met Muhammad Ali has a story. You know, he's just a genuine person. You know, he wasn't perfect, but his thing was to help humanity wherever he could. So I remember that story, and that really touched me because, you know, usually people do the exact opposite. And we were able also to visit the Ali Center there. He has a center in Louisville, Kentucky. And if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky, you've got to go to the center, Ali Center. It is first class. It could be anywhere in the world. But he had it put in his hometown. He could have had it in Chicago, New York, etc. But he had it in his hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, because he was proud of Louisville. And like I said, it's first rate. This is this little fleece jacket here. It says the Ali Center. And you can go to alicenter.org and see some of the things that they have there. And you and I have been there also. And I mean, it's just fantastic. It talks about his story. Just real briefly, it starts with you go in, and it starts with a 17-minute video about his life and the projects that they're trying to do there. And at the Ali Center, not only do they have the Ali Center there, but they also invite students to come there to work on projects of peace, tolerance, working together. So man, this thing, it's big. It's no small thing. So we were blessed to make the memorial and blessed to be in town there and also to go to the Ali Center. And I met two of his daughters, and that was a blessing. And you can imagine the strain there. Their father, the greatest, has passed away, but they were very cordial, very warm to people. You know, they weren't all, you know, uppity, you know.
Did you meet Layla?
I didn't meet Layla. I met Hannah and Miriam, May.
Okay.
So I met them. And like I said, they were just gracious to everybody. So it was just really, you know, it was a one-time and a once-in-a-lifetime event, you know. And that's the thing, when you're able to make these events, go, you know, travel and open your mouth and meet people, you know, because you never know what you'll find.
Yeah. And if we can get the cameraman to zoom in on this little caption on top there, if that's possible.
That might be real tough. It's real fine print. Oh, you got it, yeah.
Okay. And it says, want to read it what it says?
Okay, self-taught artist. Again, self-taught artist, drawing since 2012. And I think that's Facebook, Dwayne, and then WHIDBY.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy.
You can see the sweat. Look at the sweat.
Yeah, when Muhammad Ali hit George Foreman.
Yeah, look, you can even see the sweat.
Popped that sweat off his face.
And this is done in pencil.
This is done in pencil.
This is the amazing thing about it.
And yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. So now when Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman, everybody thought that he would lose. And not only that, everybody thought that he would get killed in the ring because George was knocking out people in 1 and 2 rounds. It didn't go no 12 rounds, no 10 rounds. He was knocking people out 1 or 2 rounds. It was done. And it was like, how is Muhammad Ali going to be? He was not stronger than him. You know, only thing, he's quicker, but he's older now. You know, so, and when he won, it was like, Lord, as everybody, Lord have mercy.
Well, you know the tactic that he used
Oh yeah,
was the rope-a-dope.
rope-a-dope.
And they asked him, they said, Muhammad, what does rope-a-dope mean? He said, I'm going to lay on the rope and you're going to be a dope if you come and try to get me.
Because we're all screaming, get off the ropes. Even this manner, get off the ropes, get
Yeah.
off the ropes. Because you know, if you got speed, you stay off the ropes. You know, but what he did, he used a tactic. He let him wear himself out.
He's a scientific boxer.
Scientific boxer, yes, sir.
So this next photo is one of the great leaders in our history, Brother Marcus Garvey. And I don't know if we can get any closer than that, but we need to read what, can you see that, Naeem?
Well, I can see it, but I really can't read it because I'm looking at the screen. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this picture back, hopefully, and the other pictures don't fall back, and I'm just going to read. So this is Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey and the Vision of Africa. We can tell what tomorrow, who can tell what tomorrow will bring forth? Did they not laugh at Moses, Christ, and Muhammad? Was there not a Carthage in Greece and Rome? We see and have changes every day. So pray, work, be steadfast, and be not dismayed. I mean, that's timely for 20,
Yeah.
Sorry about that. That is timely.
Yeah, the Honorable Marcus Garvey.
Garvey.
Was a great leader, and matter of fact, he set a pattern for a lot of the contemporary leaders. Because if I'm not mistaken, Malcolm X's family was what they call Garveyites.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think even Elijah Muhammad's family was Garveyites. So we just wanted to introduce that in our show today to remind us of our great legacies. Okay, so the next picture is another great leader, contemporary leader, has passed on, is Imam Wallace Dean Muhammad, or W. Dean Muhammad. And he was the seventh son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And just to be brief, he came into leadership in 1975 when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed away. But he had been prophesied to be the next leader after Elijah Muhammad. As a child, as a matter of fact, when he was in his mother's womb, Farad Muhammad, the teacher of Elijah Muhammad, told him that if it's a boy child, give him this name. And they wrote his name inside the house by the back door. So, and they said he will be one that will help you in your work. So this idea was always spread around. So people looked at him as a special son.
What's remarkable about him, he took, he was elected, when Elijah Muhammad passed, he was elected leader. And so what he did, he brought Universal Islam to our community at that time, the Nation of Islam. And where before only blacks or African Americans could come to the temple, as it was called then. And what he did, he opened it up to everyone, because that's what Islam is about. It's about the universality of humanity. So it made different changes. And so him and Minister Farrakhan was with him for the first 3 years, and Minister Farrakhan felt that he had to go back to the old teachings, and he went back with the old teachings, and Imam W.D. Muhammad just kept evolving us to Universal Islam. But the two communities still get along with each other, and that's a good thing. And this is where I believe Muhammad Ali started expanding his view of Islam, more a universal type. So there's so many things that are intertwined between all these great men. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We haven't had a chance to talk about Malcolm X, Minister Farrakhan, and of course Imam Muhammad himself. So there's a lot of history there. And as you said, one of the things that Muhammad Ali represents, as you were stating earlier, is a great American, a great African American, a great example for Muslims, a great example for all of humanity with his generosity. You always hear about his generosity, and it wasn't just money, but it was time and so forth.
Yeah, that's a good thing to bring up about his generosity. I remember Imam Muhammad said one time that he didn't realize how much work Muhammad Ali was doing because he was promoting his book, Prayer in Al-Islam.
Oh, wow, yeah.
He was going around promoting that book. And then the other thing is that because of Muhammad Ali was so popular and so positive, you never heard a negative thing about him, so to speak, all over the world, with all the world leaders, that a lot of our Muslim brothers, they want to claim him, you know, as Muhammad Ali. Look at Muhammad Ali, you know. But the point is that Muhammad Ali was raised up here in America from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through that process all the way through Imam W.D. Muhammad. And a lot of times people want to ignore that, you know, as if he just dropped out of the sky and became a Muslim.
Right,
You know,
right.
so it's good to know the history of things to get a better understanding. So Imam Wafdi Muhammad was very instrumental in shaping and molding Muhammad Ali into the person that he was. Also Malcolm X.
Right.
Now this next picture is another picture of him. I think that's when he was standing over Sonny Liston. Right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah, I think he was talking to him, get up, sucker, get up, sucker.
Now this picture is a really good picture. I don't know if you can zoom in just a touch more, but this picture, I believe a gentleman from Life magazine took this picture, and I could be wrong I could be the wrong magazine, but when the picture was taken, originally the photographer was going to be on the other side, the backside of Muhammad Ali, because that was like the good side where all the top photographers were and everything, and the big shot photographers and magazine people were. So they told this guy to go on the other side, you know. So it turns out that he got the best shot. And you can kind of see, back in the day there, when in the boxing arenas, people smoke. So that little haze is from the people smoke. So you won't get that shot too many nowadays because you can't smoke in a lot of arenas, which is good. But it's just interesting. There's so many backstories of this. And then this is the story, is when he hit him with the anchor punch real quick and knocked him out. I don't know if Sonny wanted to fight anymore, because at the first fight, he broke his will. In this second fight, I don't know if he wanted to fight. But Sonny Liston, he had a tragic life, and he had a rough life. And I know you're familiar with his life, you know. So, you know, when you find out about it, you say, man, you kind of feel sorry for him, because he just got involved in things, and he had a rough life, and just so many things, you know. So, like I said, there again, there's a backstory to that, you know.
Yeah, really there's a backstory. There's so many things.
There's so many things, yeah.
And the media plays on our emotions. They just show you one thing.
Yeah, they just show you the shiny stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's why, you know, news media goes to that, oh, the shiny stuff, but they don't get into the substance. That's why people don't know, you know, a lot of things that's going on in the world today.
So let me get that little package that I presented to you before. I want to probably go over that. Now here's another picture of Muhammad Ali. If we can get a hit on that. Now here, there's beautiful.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, now he's sitting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and it's obviously a news reporter. But in his hand, he has the message to the black man, you know, which was during that time in our development, that was the backbone book. You know, you had to understand that book to wake you up out of the slumber that we was in. But here again, this shows the development of. This is when he started. You know, he started in the Nation of Islam. Matter of fact, he was introduced in the Nation of Islam through Malcolm X, I believe it was.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So this is one level of his development, that he was growing as a young man. And there's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a very humble man, very wise man, and a very loving man. He loved us. And the things that he taught us, he knew he had to teach us that way in order to rip us apart from that attachment that we had to the ways of this world, to the ways of this world. So we honor him and thank him for that. So I wanted to show that picture, and also here's another picture of Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his wife, Sister Clara Muhammad. Yeah, and like you said before, you very rarely see him without a fez on.
Fez on, yeah. So he was called at one time the most powerful black man in America.
Yeah, and also the most dangerous.
Dangerous,
Yeah.
yeah. Because if you wake all these Negroes up, look out.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother issue, because we don't understand, a lot of us really don't understand the very clever job that was done on us through generations to change our way of thinking into hating ourselves and loving those who put us in captivity.
And, the point was made, when you make God white, or quote the son of God white, then and you're bowing down to that image, then if the son's white, the daddy got to be white. So psychologically, you're putting somebody else in a superior position than you. So what the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad, Farad Muhammad did, and we talked about in the early show, it just used reverse psychology. Okay, you say we're bad, the black people are bad, evil, they're devil. Okay, he flipped the switch and said the white man's the devil, the black man's God. So this wasn't correct, but it was used as, to bring us, like you say, out of that dead state, and to raise us up. But we know that we're all mortals, and there's only one creator, so, and just like Muhammad Ali said, it's not can't hate a person on their color, but these were the things that were taught, but it was for a reason and for a time period.
Exactly.
For you to evolve, like we mentioned before, from that caterpillar to a butterfly.
Exactly. And also, if we can get another close-up of this little shot here, his wife, Sister Clara Muhammad, she was very instrumental in maintaining the Nation of Islam when Elijah Muhammad was locked up.
Right.
She was also very instrumental in establishing the homeschooling system.
Yes.
Because there was a story related to that when the authorities found out that she was not sending her children to the Caucasian school system. And they came to her door, and she made a statement. She said, I would never send my children to your school system. Said, before I do, I'll be deader than this doorknob. And she slammed the door in the officer's face. And they never came back. So Elijah Muhammad is the one that's mostly focused on when we talk about the Nation of Islam. But Sister Clara Muhammad, his wife, was also a very powerful component in that package. And Imam Wafdi Muhammad, when he came into power, he named the school system the Sister Clara Muhammad school system.
And just speaking on that, Imam Muhammad, might not be that well known, but he's really did with the help of the Creator to really bring us to universal Islam. And that was a major, monumental thing, and it was a bloodless thing. It wasn't no, it wasn't no fight, no bloodshed and stuff like that. Just briefly, something came to my mind when we were at the Muhammad Ali Center, and it sounded like a fairy tale. But you know how he says, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? There was at his exhibit or something outside, there was, I believe, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, as they say, but there was a symbol of a bee or something like that, or it said, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and a whole bunch of bees came on it. Where it said, float like a butterfly, sting, a whole bunch of bees just came. Now, I'm not spooky, but that's interesting. all these bees came there. And so, we asked people, man, did that really happen? Because people say stuff. And yes. I think it was on the news thing that all these bees came. It was either the sign that said float like butterflies came right on that. So I just said, that's really amazing. We have about 2 minutes. Any closing remarks that you wanted to say?
Well, I want to put this last picture up here.
Okay.
Maybe we can get this real quick. That's a picture that a lot of people don't see, maybe never see.
Yes.
But that's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad sharing time with the great and Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were told that when Dr. Martin Luther King came back and made the speech where he said, "I've been to the mountaintop,"
Yes.
and we were told that he had went and visited Elijah Muhammad. So we was all hyped up on that.
Yes.
Then we have the T-shirt. Since we only have a few minutes, we just want to share this T-shirt. And a lot of these T-shirts are being sold around, but a lot of these T-shirts are being. Everybody wants to get one of these T-shirts. Muhammad Ali, the greatest.
Okay, show them the back because we only got about 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people in Louisville, that were, distributing the T-shirts and so forth and so on. So yeah, everybody, they were all over. So yeah,
Can we zoom in on the back?
Yeah, champion in and out of the ring. That's right, Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
And I would suggest people, if they get a chance to look at the memorial, I don't know if it's on YouTube or on CNN website, but to look at that memorial, it was great. It was fantastic.
And you also know that he has an exhibit in the African American Museum too.
Right, I think LeBron James donated so much money to get that.
$2.5 million.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody, our crew, Rosalind Jenkins, who helped us out today, Brother Jahar Cravens Russell, and Jamal Sharif. We want to thank you all and thank our audience for watching.
We're on YouTube.
And we're on YouTube now, thanks to our next generation. Thank you all very much. Peace be upon you.